You're watching a Highwire Media podcast. After nearly 2 years of uncertainty, Texas Rangers finally have a solution for their broadcast situation, the Rangers Sports Network. It all started back in March 2023 when Bally Sports Southwest, parent company Diamond Sports Group, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. A month later, a bankruptcy judge ordered the company to pay 4 Major League Baseball teams 50% of the money they owed. The Rangers were one of those teams. What followed was a series of court battles which ended in DSG paying the Rangers $100 million to broadcast games in 2024. It would be the last season the Rangers would broadcast with Bally, but at the time it was unknown what Texas's plans would be. On the Rangers side, everything surrounded the television deal made team owners Ray Davis and Bob Simpson limit on-field spending the last 2 years, leading president of baseball operations Chris Young and his staff to get smart with their budget and off-season acquisitions. Hopefully those days are over now that the team's plans have been slowly revealed. On January 15th, online streaming service Victory Plus and the Rangers shared on social media that the service would be the new streaming home for Rangers baseball. Then on Monday, the Rangers introduced the formation of the Rangers Sports Media and Entertainment Company, and the Rangers Sports Network is the new producer and distributor of Rangers baseball beginning this season. It was followed with an announcement of agreements with cable providers AT&T U-Verse, DirecTV, DirecTV Stream, and Spectrum. While the figures of the various cable and Victory Plus partnerships are unknown, it could give the Rangers an increased payroll and free agency over the next few years. So what might the Rangers' revenue look like compared to other teams' RSN? The Rangers aren't the first MLB team to venture out on their own when it comes to broadcasting their game. Several other organizations either own the network outright or receive larger revenue streams due to co-ownership of percentage of shares. Among those teams are the Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Cubs' marquee sports network is partially owned by the Cubs and Sinclair Broadcast Group. In 2022, it reported the team earned $99 million in revenue from Marquee. On the higher side of things, Sportsnet LA, 50% owned by Dodgers, reported around $196 million annually. It's hard to tell exactly what the Rangers will make in revenue from Rangers Sports Network and its deals with partnering cable providers and Victory Plus, but with it has to be more than what they were going to make annually in their deal with Diamond Sports Group. So how will the Rangers increase spending on free agency with their new revenue stream? Before we dive into this topic, it's important to be realistic. The front office isn't going to start throwing around money and signing free agents. Keep in mind the Rangers made their big-time free agent signings a few years ago, when they committed nearly $1 billion to Jacob deGrom, Corey Seager, and Marcus Semien. They also did what they needed to do this winter in re-signing Nathan Eovaldi to a 3-year, $75 million deal, among other pieces. The roster is also made up of a lot of young players that are key to the team's future. It'll be a few years until the team has to start thinking about offering Evan Carter, Josh Young, and Wyatt Langford contract extensions. This doesn't mean they won't spend money, they will just be wiser and methodical about it. For example, you can never have enough pitching. In 2026, Dylan Cease and Zach Gallen lead the pitching market, and a year later, Tariq Skubal and Michael King, among other reliable arms, will be available. Then on the position side, next year's class is highlighted by Vladimir Guerrero Jr., JT Realmuto, Kyle Tucker, and Kyle Schwarber. The new network makes sense for a variety of reasons, including freedom to choose how they broadcast their own content and make it accessible to fans. But the biggest pro will be the consistent revenue stream that will lead to free agent signings and hopefully more World Series championships in Arlington. We're going to take a look at 4 young arms that will be difference makers for the Texas Rangers in 2025. Texas Rangers' success in 2025 doesn't rest solely on their high-powered offense and veteran frontline starters. It's off the arms of a handful of young pitchers that are ready to up their game and become household names on the big stage. Rotation will, of course, be anchored by Nathan Eovaldi and Jacob deGrom, while the bullpen is filled with options to mix up and put them in various roles throughout the season. But what is yet to be determined, the fit of the young arms that Texas is relying on to take that next step or turn the corner. It's a lot to ask, but the success of these 4 arms could turn the team's pitching staff from a liability to a strong suit that carries them on a deep run in October. So starting off with Cody Bradford. Bradford will be an instrumental piece of the pitching staff this year. We saw flashes of brilliance in 2024, but unfortunately he was cut short only 3 starts in due to a lower back strain. When he returned from injury, Bradford was eased back into work, only pitching in 14 games. Finished the season with a 3.54 ERA, struck out 70 batters, and limited them to a 201 batting average. For Texas to be successful, they need to get the rotation behind Jacob deGrom and Nathan Eovaldi going in, and it starts with the 26-year-old lefty. Then we have Mark Church. Last year I saw Church pitch during spring training and remember thinking to myself, this kid will be an integral part of the bullpen at some point this year. He was sent down to Round Rock to start the year after 10.2 innings and 14 strikeouts in Arizona. However, he started off the season less than ideal and later suffered a right shoulder injury that sidelined him until August. Church made his major league debut on September 28th in Anaheim against the Angels. With his two-pitch mix, the 23-year-old averages 96 miles an hour in his fastball and low 90s with his slider. It wouldn't surprise me to see Church start this year in Round Rock, but I do think the bullpen is better with him, and he provides a lot of versatility for Bruce Bochy. Then, of course, Jack Leiter. The 2021 second overall pick out of Vanderbilt is coming into 2025 with a lot to prove. Can he find success at the big league level? His career thus far has been ideal, finishing the season with an 8.83 ERA, and opposing batters hitting 297 against him. The franchise hasn't given up on him, so neither should the fans. But maybe it is time for us to temper our expectations on what Leiter can be. His fastball is one of the better pitches in the game. 96.4 miles per hour is in the 84th percentile, but his off-speed pitches haven't seen the same success. He struggled with command and is yet to truly find his put-away pitch. Tough to hear given the hype he's had, but it is make or break it time for Leiter this season. Then we have Kumar Rocker. This kid will be exciting. We saw flashes of it in his 3 starts last season. If you look at his numbers, they may not pop off the page, but it was solely about getting Rocker comfortable in the big leagues. In his MLB debut, he threw 4 innings, surrendering 1 run, striking out 7 Seattle Mariner hitters. His fastball topped out at 97 miles an hour. 5 of the 7 strikeouts were from his slider. The priority going into 2025 remains the same for the Rangers, and Rocker continued to get him comfortable in the big leagues. That means putting him in on a routine to get deeper into ball games. In his 3 games last season, he never threw more than 74 pitches. He will go into spring training eyeing his starter's workload, but with the structure of the rotation now, we might see Rocker get early appearances out of the bullpen or in a 6-man rotation to help the other starters stay healthy. And now we're going to take a look at Sebastian Walcott as a top prospect and what his fit with the Rangers will be. Sebastian Walcott has quickly risen to future star status with the Texas Rangers. While we inch closer to the 2025 season, Walcott was ranked as the 4th best shortstop prospect in baseball and 17th overall by MLB Pipeline. The 6'4" Bahamian shortstop was signed by the Rangers in January 2023 as an international free agent and made his professional debut that June. In 48 games, he put his well-rounded skill set on display, but it wasn't until 2024 when his meteoric rise happened. Walcott played 121 games for High A Hickory and Double A Frisco, and in that time showed off his quick hands, power, speed, arm, and above-average fielding. Overall, he ended the season hitting .265 with 11 home runs, 56 RBIs, 26 stolen bases, and a .455 on-base percentage. Walcott's upside is tremendous, with plus-level power, arm strength, and speed. He has great bat-to-bat skills, recording 121 hits, 9 triples, and 34 doubles last season. However, he does have a tendency to be too aggressive at the plate, striking out 132 times. So where will the Texas Rangers use him on the field when he's ready for the big leagues? Corey Seager and Marcus Semien are manning the middle infield spots together with the Major League club until further notice. Josh Young is young and still on his rookie contract and is set to enter his first year of arbitration next year. Fortunately, there is time to figure this out, as he still needs at least another year in the minor leagues to help maximize his development and get consistent playing time. Where he ends up playing depends on several factors, including ability and timing. So how much will he develop at shortstop? What challenges will he face? Will there be any setbacks in the process? All these questions are valid when thinking about a prospect, especially one who is only 18 years old. While he needs to be more consistent with his hands, footwork, and throwing accuracy, he does have smooth infield actions for his size and rocket arms. Then you start to wonder what the makeup of the Rangers roster will look like when he is ready to take that step into the big leagues. Despite what some online chatter may say, or may be, Seager is still a plus fielder at his position, and as long as Young stays healthy, he will continue to man the hot corner for Texas. But remains to be seen if Dolis Garcia status post-2025. He'll enter his final year of arbitration next winter, then free agency in 2027. Garcia had a bad year in 2024. If his play doesn't improve, it could potentially lead to the front office having some tough decisions to make in a year or two. Walcott's build and arm profile fit well as a right fielder, and given that the Rangers foundation plays Walcott's two primary positions, shortstop and third base, it makes sense that right field is in his future. But still, all of this depends on how he develops at his position. Does he show massive improvement at short? Do the Rangers start playing him in the outfield? And does he show flashes of brilliance in his new role? At this point, one thing is for certain. By this time next year, he will be the consensus top prospect in all of baseball with a bright future ahead. And now we're going to take a look at 3 Rangers on the 40-man roster who might not be around on opening day. The Rangers have already been fiddling with their 40-man roster to make room for off-season acquisitions. For instance, Texas DFA'd and then traded reliever Grant Anderson to clear a spot for Jock Peterson. With a flurry of activity this winter and the team's ambitions to return to the postseason, the club could very well shuffle more players off the 40-man in order to call in fresh recruits. However, the Rangers are in a somewhat strange position. The team's 40-man roster consists of 24 pitchers, including Josh Boers, who could very well go on the 60-day IL and free up a spot when the season starts. 6 of those pitchers were acquired this offseason, which could indicate that Texas, at least at the point of signing, saw them as a valuable piece of the squad. Additionally, most of the lineup is virtually untouchable. So we're looking at only a handful of players who seem likely to get cut before opening day. Of course, beginning the top of the list, is Cole Winn. The Rangers' first-round pick in 2018 hasn't quite panned out. Cole Winn rocketed through the minor leagues once he made it to full-time ball. Since landing with AAA Round Rock, though, his career has largely stalled. In his third go-round at the level, he moved from the rotation to the bullpen. But even that shift hasn't recaptured his once vaunted status. Winn got a taste of the majors in 2024, but his time is running out. He could very well be sent to AAA for a 5th straight season, utilizing his final option year. Meanwhile, prospects such as Abimelech, apologies for butchering his name, Ortiz and Dane Acker would be vulnerable to Rule 5 draft selection next winter. Winn will quickly lose his value, and once his final option year is gone, it may be better for the Rangers to find a trade partner willing to take on this project so they can use this roster spot more wisely. Then we have Jonathan Morales. Yes, the Rangers did decide to protect Jonathan from the Rule 5 draft in 2022, but he hasn't been a major part of the big league squad since then. In fact, his utility, one of his greatest assets, is duplicated by Ezekiel Duran and Josh Smith. The Rangers simply do not need another versatile bench player on the 26-man roster. Instead, Texas could begin to look to the future of the outfield. Adolis Garcia took a massive step back in 2024, and Leody Taveras' usefulness as a 4th outfielder has started to run its course. Luckily, help is on the way. Dustin Harris is already on the 40-man roster, but prospects like Alejandro Osuna could push their way into the majors this season. Opening a 40-man roster spot during spring training could pave their path. And then we have John Gray. Seems like a certainty that the Rangers will need to clear a rotation spot for Kumar Rocker at some point. And with a strong spring, he could break camp on the opening day roster. Texas doesn't actually have to clear 40-man space in order for that to happen, since Rocker is on the 26-man roster already. But it seems likely that one of the entrenched starters could be on the move. Nathan Eovaldi and Jacob deGrom are untouchable, and conversely, no one would likely touch Tyler Mahle until he has a few starts under his belt, given his history of injury. That leaves John Gray, Cody Bradford, and Dane Dunning as the rotation pieces, most likely to be on the chopping block. My inclination here is for Gray, who's in the final year of his contract and set to make $13 million. Although the Rangers' payroll seems to be about $7 million below the luxury tax threshold, which was a major goal of theirs offseason, gaining more wiggle room could be beneficial if Texas finds itself in the playoff hunt and needs to make moves at the trade deadline. This deal might not happen by opening day, though. Rocker will be on an innings limit as he works back from Tommy John surgery. He may be more valuable down the stretch, shifting the timeline for a starting pitcher trade closer to July. And that is all the headlines we have for this week on the Talking Texas Rangers podcast. Let me know your thoughts on the topics we've covered in the comment section below. And as always, give it a thumbs up if you like the video. That subscribe button down below, the bell notification button to be notified of future videos. course, if you want to support the channel, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TTRangers. As always, your support helps the channel grow, upgrade our equipment, bring in new hosts, be able to pay them, and one day take this show on the road. Always, thank you so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next time.